Yo, what's up? My name is Jess B and I am going to be breaking down my track called Bullseye.
We don't miss, it's a bullseye. Hit it once, hit it twice, never miss, it's a bullseye. Hit it once, hit it twice, never miss, it's a bullseye.
Yeah, so my name is Jess B and I am a hip-hop artist, a rapper, and I released my first song on Spotify in 2017. So I've been around for 3 years. So when I'm at home, I have quite a few different writing processes. Like my favorite probably is to work with a producer in real time in a studio where we will talk about a specific vibe or theme or sound or idea, and the producer will start making a beat and I'll start writing, and then we sort of like move at the same pace, or like while they're creating the beat, I'm writing the bones of like a verse or a hook or whatever, and we sort of go back and forth. And it's my favorite way to work just because I think that it's what you're hearing is super cohesive and like very like, it's a super collaborative way of working. You know, like I'll often ask the girls that I dance with, you know, what their favorite songs are, because I think that is a huge, you know, dancers listen to different things about a track than say like your average listener, because they're obviously thinking about like how they would move to it. And I'm all about getting people moving. So I definitely think about dancers when I'm creating music, but apart from that, it's usually just like however I'm feeling on the day and the vibe that I'm trying to create for myself, or like how I'm trying to explain what I'm feeling. Music's always been a central part to like me finding my people, me finding myself. So I guess it's like a huge part of like what I'm talking about in my music as well, because it's just like my life.
Do your dance, you know you something. Hit it once, hit it twice, never miss, it's a bullseye. Hit it once, hit it twice, never miss, it's a bullseye.
It was kind of like one of those, I had to pinch myself a little bit. Because I never really, you can't predict some of these things. Like I could never have imagined, even like 3 years ago when I started, that I would be in Amsterdam writing music, you know. So Bullseye, I wrote on this, I'm pretty sure it was the second day that I was there. And it was one of those things where, so I didn't, the producer, Max, had already made this beat at another time. He just happened to play it to me. And he referred to it as Afro Trap. And it was just like, as soon as he started playing it, it was just like the energy, it was kind of like crazy and everything that I'm about. So as soon as I sort of heard it, I kind of just went. I didn't really like, the thing with all of these songs was that I didn't conceptualize anything. It was literally just like phrases, words, ideas, you know, flows that came to me as I sat down to write them. It's like very turbo. Like it's a like definitely a high. Well, the whole mixtape is super high energy, but this one's actually one of my favorite tracks just because it's quite different. And the specific sounds that the different instruments they use in making the beat are definitely like very Afro leaning in terms of like the percussion and stuff like that. It's as literal of a metaphor as it sounds. It's just about like not missing. So I guess like. Yeah, the lyrics are just like hit it once, hit it twice, never miss, that's a bullseye. So it's kind of just, I guess, about like staying on like what you're doing and killing it. I don't know. Yeah. We don't follow you, we innovate. I was sort of referring to, I guess, like hip hop culture, yes, but also just like black culture in general. And I think it's been like a really huge theme of like a lot of black youth, like for this year, I guess, in the sense that like, especially in New Zealand, where we are like the pioneers of what will be like black culture in New Zealand. And I think especially in the hip hop realm, we've had like, you know, a lot of different types of artists with lots of different types of sound. But I think that what Afro Kiwis or like, you know, African New Zealanders bring to the table is slightly different because of our like cultural backgrounds and like what we've seen in our lives and where we've come from.
Move again, regenerate, get what's mine, yeah, come to collect. I am me and I'm led to the end. We got the juice, you can never bootleg. All my people in the place go on
in this case, I had all the songs, and then from there, I was deciding what I wanted it to be called, what I wanted the imagery to look like, and what songs were going to be a part of it, all kind of at the same time, because all the songs were already done. I know that like when I first started, I was working with P Money. He was like sort of like a mentor who was helping me, I guess, like find my sound as an artist, like before I'd released any music. And during that process, I had all of these songs that I thought was so amazing, and I was like, let me put these out right now. And he was the one who was like, nah, like you should just sit on them, keep working, and there'll become a time when it's like, you know, when it's the right time to start putting stuff out. And honestly, that was like, if you know, like now when I look back and I think about the songs that I thought were amazing, I really was like so far away from like what my beginning point was as an artist. So I think sometimes patience is like really key, but you don't want to wait too long so that the moment's passed. But I don't think that there's any right or wrong answer, but I do think that there is too much. There's definitely artists who oversaturate themselves. You know, you want to stay a little bit like exclusive and stuff, so when you go away, you know, you think of like massive artists like Kendrick Lamar, you know, he'll disappear and you won't see anything from him for a couple of years while he's making a new album. So when he comes back, it's like everyone's absolutely frothing to hear like, you know, all the new stuff. Whereas if you're just releasing music the whole time, you never like have the opportunity to be missed, I guess, you know. Every release is like a moment in time for your artist journey. And so sometimes when at the point that I release the music, I've grown already. So I'm looking at this music being like, man, if only I'd done this, or I could do this better now. But the public and my fans who are like coming along on the journey with me don't know where I'm at right now. So they're getting the image of, you know, whatever I release is what they know. So it's important for me to remember that I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because the last thing you made is always the most exciting, you know. It's better to wait and, you know, like really like refine your skills before you come out, so that you're precise with your artist image and like where you want to go. And I think that stuff always develops and changes. Like I think my sound is still developing. Like it's not like I've reached a point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is who I am. But I definitely think that like how I want to be seen by the world is pretty much the same as when I first started. And I think that's really important. Generally, the songs start to come together and then the like mixtape will form. Like this mixtape in particular is a little bit different just because it all happened so in such a concentrated way. So it was almost like I knew that they all had to come out on one project as I was doing it. You know what I mean? I didn't really ever feel like they would be like drip fed through, because it is a little bit of a different sound to what I've done in the past. This mixtape was different because I knew that there was not really any radio singles on, like, none of the songs that are on this mixtape to me are songs that radio in New Zealand would play. So it gave me a lot more freedom actually in terms of choosing the songs that I liked the best, really. Or not necessarily liked the best, but the songs that I felt needed a light on them for whatever specific reason. Bullseye for me was the one track that I really wanted to kind of have its moment, just because it was one of my favorite tracks on the mixtape, but I also just feel it's really different for what's going on in like hip hop in New Zealand at the moment. So I wanted it to kind of like have a chance to be heard. And so I was always really sure that I wanted it to be a single, and I was always really sure that I wanted to do a video for it. So musically, I think that it's a really exciting time for New Zealand. And I just think that, hip hop in general is super innovative and it never stays the same. It's constantly changing and evolving with the times. So for me, being like a black kid who grew up in Aotearoa, it just feels like we're innovating what will be, you know, the sound to continue on in 10, 20 years or whatever.
Anything I want, baby, gonna take that. Too much at once, so I'm never laid back. Whole team with me, you can never break that. Protect at all costs, yeah, like a wave cat. We don't follow, yeah, we innovate. Been about a coach and not an